Hey Pisces, welcome to your May 2019 astrology and tarot reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're a regular here, and if you're new, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me to grow this channel. It's really very exciting for me, and it would be much appreciated. I'd love to get to 100,000, and I'm sitting at about 60, I think. So Pisces, this is a really lovely month, and we have quite a lot of Taurian energy, and as you know, that fits really very well with your sign. It takes a little bit of the onus off your finances, off those little questioning moments that you've had over the last month or so about worth, about value, really thinking about money, really thinking about your financial affairs, and we now move into more of a communication based energy. You know, what you're putting forward, what you're putting out there, what you're speaking into existence, what your relationship is with the law of attraction, what your relationship is between your brain and your mouth, okay? So what you're putting out there and what you're waiting to see. It is a beautiful month for speaking into existence what you want. So do pay great caution to what it is that you're saying, because you may be perpetuating this repetitive narrative that you don't actually want to be living. So speak more about what you want rather than what you don't want. It's not a month for complaining, because you may see a lot more momentum in your manifestations this month, Pisces. So if you pay attention, if you're mindful, there will be a lot of communication that's very important. This may not just come from you. With the new moon in Taurus on the 4th of May, Mercury, the planet of communication, going into Taurus on the 6th of May, and Mercury conjunct Uranus, planet of surprise, on the 8th of May, you may find, Pisces, that some communication is coming for you that you weren't quite expecting. Okay, this to me feels a little bit of a shock. You know, something that you weren't quite expecting. And I don't mean it has to be an overwhelming shock, but you're going to get some news this month, and it is going to be a big theme. You may receive a call out of the blue. You know, I actually think, Pisces, your phone is going to be pretty active. We saw this with Scorpio in January, with all the third house activity, where there was a lot of people getting in touch and the phone was going off all the time. So Pisces, this is kind of your turn. Venus enters Taurus on the 15th of May as well, and this is going to bring with it great conversation and romance. I actually think Venus in Taurus for you is going to be really very comfortable for your relationships. It's going to be a great time to meet somebody new, because chances are the people you attract into your life this month are going to be more like-minded. You're going to be able to talk to them, express yourself to them, and it's going to be comfortable. There's going to be a give and take in the relationship. And on the 15th, Mars enters Cancer, and that is, of course, your 5th house arena of romance, of creativity, of indulgence, of play, that kind of thing. So Mars going into this sector for you is really very comfortable, Pisces. It's going to be the first time that Mars has been in a water sign since, I believe, December, when it was in your sign of Pisces. Now that's kind of exhausting, but in the 5th house, your energy is going to be going towards joyous occasions, socializing. You're going to be wanting to have a good time. So there's a really beautiful soil astrologically, because we think of Taurus season as being soil, to plant some new seeds, to grow something, and to really meet like-minded people. And similarly, if you're in a relationship, your communication will be on point. You will mean what you say, and it will be very, very welcome after the Mercury retrograde in your sign. So, Pisces, we're going to be using two different decks. We're going to be using the traditional deck, and we're going to use the Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. So we'll see messages from both. I really love the Animal Spirit. I used it in my mid-monthlies. Oh, hello. 4 of Wands. Very, very nice. Very happy, very joyous celebration, like-minded people. Everything that the astrology said there would be is coming towards you, Pisces. That's a really good omen. If you're worried about things in your family, there's going to be some pleasant news possibly surrounding them. But really, Pisces, this month is, well, Venus going into Taurus is very comfortable for everybody, because it really gives the language of love to people that don't necessarily speak it anyway. It's kind of gorgeous, really. So let's see what's going on with Pisces. Here you are, or here a water sign is. Could be a Scorpio or a Cancer. It could be a fellow Pisces if you're dealing with another one. Or it can be you, assessing your options. Not sure what you're doing just yet, are you? In moments where nothing is certain, anything is possible. Remember that as you go forward. 2 of Swords in the... not in the challenging, actually. This is the helpful position. Judgment in the challenge. Yes, the call out of the blue. And the Magician, the Alchemist. Making things happen, as I say, speaking into existence. Okay, and let's pop the Fool. A new journey. Wow. This is some spread. This is intense, but intense in a good way. Intense in a creation. You're a creator. You are the magician. So you are manifesting things, Pisces. And this could go really in your favor. This could manifest new opportunities, new excitement, or this could go against you. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, they appear to be somewhat troubled or troubling. Troubling you, maybe. If you're dealing with a Gemini, they're a little bit too in control of what's going on here. Okay? Now, the reason that I say they're a bit too in control is because you've kind of surrendered that to them. You've kind of given them all the power. And there is an imbalance there. And I think you've given them the power because you're uncertain. You know, Pisces, you can be really very back and forward. And it's funny to see Geminis and Pisces do the dance of courtship. Whether you're dealing with one or not. There is kind of an indecisive back and forth where nobody quite ever knows where they stand. But the one that feels they hold all the power generally is the one that does. And it sort of shifts between. It's sort of like throwing the ball and they catch the ball. It's kind of this back and forth. And it seems to me to be something that needs to be called out. You might have to call yourself out though. Okay? It's not necessarily saying they have all the issues, they have all the power. There does seem to be, if you're dealing with somebody romantically, a need for a bit of a change. And I think it's because of indecision. There's been something, and this doesn't have to be relationship wise, Pisces. There's been something you've been holding back on for a long time. Now, Saturn is retrograding until, I believe, September in what would be your 11th house. And for you, that is sort of marking territory where your relationship with your peers, your relationship with people around you, and then to have Taurus season, so there's these connections between the Taurian planets and the Capricorn planets. Your communication with people hasn't been so good. Mercury retrograding in your sign was incredibly tough on yourself. It was incredibly tough on everybody around you. It was kind of like trudging through the mud on certain things. And now we have this beautiful sky where you can communicate your needs and you can communicate your wants. And it's almost like this vortex opens up. And you know that what you speak into the vortex, you will get out. But there will still be things coming out of it that you don't expect. Judgment is somebody calling you that comes as a surprise. And I don't think it's that surprising, because whenever we have a lot of third house activity, Pisces, generally people call that you didn't expect. You're kind of going through the momentum of, why is this person, it could be something trivial like liking my photos. Because Saturn retrograde in your social media house, that can be a way people get in touch. They can write letters. It can be old fashioned. But the 11th house is very technology oriented. So I'm sort of suspecting there's a lot of activity on social media, Pisces. And you're just in this kind of, it's almost like a little bit of an indecisive funk. And you're sitting here, you're sitting pretty, by the way. You're sitting good. This is you. But you're very susceptible to other people's charm and influence when you don't feel like you have your own. So if you're not feeling particularly charismatic, you will fall for a magician type who is incredibly charismatic. The onus here is on you, Pisces, to be your own alchemist, to be your own magician, to create a persona around you of confidence, because with the Aries energy that we've had, it's very hard on your confidence at times. And you have to kind of go inward and assess how you feel about yourself. And when we have a new moon coming up in Taurus, it is the perfect time to establish how you want to be putting yourself out there, how you want to communicate with others, what you want to be able to say that you don't. So as a very go with the flow oriented sign, you can sometimes just go along with things and see how they pan out. But this month is kind of saying, might be better to make a decision. It might be better to have an idea of what you want and start manifesting it. Start manifesting your dream life. Speak only what you want into existence, Pisces. Because I get the impression that a lot of Pisces are very good at that. They're very good at remaining optimistic, staying in the dreamland. And Neptune is in your sign, it's home sign, which is lovely. But we do have a full moon coming up in Scorpio on the 18th. And Scorpio for you, Pisces, is that 9th house energy. And you might need to prepare yourself for a bird's eye view on everything that you've been ignoring. Because I just feel a little bit like you're cheating yourself. Possibly cheating yourself on your expectations. Because with the Two of Swords in the positive, if that's the positive, it means you're selling yourself short on fear. You're kind of thinking, it's okay as long as this is comfortable and that's comfortable. I could be okay with this. But the Magician says no. The Magician says there are bigger things. There are bigger fish to fry. There are bigger things to be done. There's more to be done. The Fool and the Magician, look at the yellow. The optimism, the new energy, the fresh energy. With Taurus season, you can rely on something stable to come forward, but you have to be wary of how insecure you're feeling. Because if you're looking for something secure, Pisces, the trick is to feel secure within yourself, because like attracts like. If you're feeling insecure, you will attract more relationships, more situations, more consequences that are insecure in nature. And I get this impression, Pisces, that you could be duped this month by somebody who pretends to have all the answers. Somebody who pretends to have all the know-how. And the clue in looking for advice is to accept that nobody has all the answers. Nobody. Nobody has a concrete list. Even doctors have to go through sometimes writing off certain things before it's something else. It's not always textbook. Life is not always textbook. But you can be certain that what you're putting out there is coming back to you in droves. That's what the Magician means. He is the law of attraction card. What are you putting out there? Do you want a fresh start? Do you want a new journey? Do you want more excitement? Or do you want stability? Judgment in the Challenge is saying that you're being unnecessarily indecisive. And that is what is halting your progress. So whether it's a relationship that you want, whether it's somebody that you like, there's an indecision, and you need to address what that is. You need to address what that little feeling in the back of your mind is telling you, what that gut feeling is telling you, and you need to listen to it. Whether that be through meditation, whether that be through talking it through with a friend. There is this kind of psychic blockage between you and what you want. And you're a very intuitive sign, but something is stopping you from moving that one step closer to what it is that you want. And the thing about the Fool is that he starts off not having all the answers anyway. He starts off ready to embrace something new because that's what he's ready for. And he throws caution to the wind and off he goes. You could be dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. But I get the impression, Pisces, that you're feeling somewhat in the dark about what to do next. So I'm going to see Ah, okay. Okay, so heartbreak lies on the other side of the ego. Um, let's see what this one was. The Eight of Cups. Yes. Okay, so Pisces, somebody is definitely pretending to have all the answers. Somebody is pretending to have all the know-how. They're very confident, possibly arrogant, at a time narcissistic for some. That Three of Swords and that Eight of Cups, somebody who seemed to be perfect, somebody that seemed to be everything you want, I think has already broken your heart for many of you or disappointed you, and you're trying to move on. And you're wondering why you're not moving on. Or you're wondering why you can't move on, if that's the case. For some of you, it is the dent to the ego of a rejection, and this can be a long time ago, that keeps coming up to play. And it keeps coming up to get your attention, and you're giving it your attention. And the more you worry about it, the more you're having self-fulfilling prophecies. The Magician says you don't have to do this. The Magician has more control in his card than these three have together. All it requires is the presence of thought, the presence of conscious, positive thought. So although that sounds somewhat repetitive, Pisces, you are in the process of creating your future, and you would do better to create the future with a new perspective than to create it with the past, because that is what worrying sometimes does. Worrying is praying for something you don't want. Or, as Newt Scamander said in Fantastic Beasts, worrying is suffering twice. So, you have the potential to create this month, Pisces. Your future is undecided, and the Magician is telling you that you can create whatever you choose. Like Dr. Seuss, he was a Pisces. I think he said if you have brains in your head and feet in your shoes, you can steer your ship any way that you choose. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I know it had to rhyme. But let's have a little look at the animal spirit deck and give you some clarity. Ooh, the unicorn and the elk. Oh, gorgeous. I love this. Unicorn and the elk. Now, the elk is just awesome. I love the elk. The elk is all about somebody in your life who is very consistent, someone who is very loyal, someone who's very hardworking, someone who's very honest. And this could be you. I get the impression it could be another water sign. We'll just go over the unicorn and see what we get, because the unicorn is a spirit card, which I love. Who doesn't want to be a unicorn? Reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. So this is questioning if something's real. The unicorn is your connection to the divine, to the spiritual, to practicing manifestation and the law of attraction. A lot of people misconstrue tarot as being what is going to happen to you anyway. Tarot is sort of supposed to dip into what's going on with you. Astrologically speaking is what I do. So for the Pisces sky, I guess, the unicorn is telling you, Pisces, that you have to readdress your relationship with the divine. And the full moon in Scorpio for sure will do that to you. The full moon in Scorpio will make you question your beliefs. And perhaps you have dabbled in the law of attraction before and you've hit a wall with it. This is simply warning you that if you want to manifest someone of an elk personality or something that seems wonderful, you have to concentrate on that being possible, because it is. Now, the unicorn is all about your intuition, whether you can trust it, the higher power. I do think you're questioning your experience quite a bit, Pisces. I suggest practicing, positive thinking, positive intuition, using your intuition, using your guides, whatever it is that your relationship with the spiritual is, Pisces, because it's always present when there's a Pisces involved. Pisceans are always connected, and you have the potential to manifest great things this month, Pisces. And it's up to you to do it. You do have to speak it into existence. As I say, there's sort of this vortex being opened. And I do get the impression that somebody who really, really hurt you is possibly returning with the communication. And I do think for some of you, it's actually very unexpected. So guard yourself against those type of psychic vampires, energy vampires. and have confidence. Be, because the elk in essence is a very confident, very stable personality. Sometimes they can be pretentious and high and mighty. An inflated ego. So really what I'm saying here, Pisces, is that if you're dealing with somebody who comes back, and I do get this feeling of ego, if you're dealing with someone who's a very high ego, it's up to you to feel your most unicorn self, because it's great that they feel that way. That's lovely, but they're an elk. You're a unicorn. Okay, you are a unicorn. You're real. Pisces always have this really surreal, ethereal vibe going on, and it can sometimes make people, I don't know, it can make people suspicious of you. And when you're out of sync with all that makes you feel connected, you're not a happy fish. It's all about getting that connection back and manifesting. And, Pisces, there's going to be a lot of messages coming through. You're going to be very, very excited for some and possibly very wary of others. It's up to you to do the assessment. But use your intuition. Use that feeling, be connected, use the powers of manifestation. Maybe something you manifested a while ago in forms of a conversation, a text message, I don't know. Could be something coming through in that sense. But Pisces, it's up to you to do with that what you want. Please remember, no matter what happens this month, remember that you are the magician. You're creating the next step, the next chapter, the next book, okay? You're writing it all as we speak, so make sure you're writing what you want to happen. So love you guys, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.